Welcome to a Clayborn Lab instructional video. Today we're going to show you our custom heaters. Custom heaters generally come in various lengths. On the back side you can always see the conductors, and on the top is our custom foil tape. For the purpose of this video, we're going to trim down our custom heater to make it shorter and easier to show you our terminations. Some tools that you may need are a pair of tweezers, a dull razor blade, a pair of crimps, and some wire strippers and cutters. Your first step will be opening up the tape. Use the tweezers and try to get them in between the wires and the two adhesive layers. Trim back any excess foiled top tape. Next, use a dull razor blade and scrape off the protective coating that covers each individual wire. Here at Clayborn, we use a metal disc to help us scrape the wires. Make sure you scrape each wire individually, and then flip over the tape and do the same thing to the back side. The goal is to remove all the protective coating off of each wire to help make our terminations have a better connection. If you still feel you haven't scraped the wires completely, you may turn them on the side and scrape either side of it also. You should see some brown or orange flakes after scraping the wire. The next step will be to crimp the wires together. In this build, we're going to be doing a parallel series connection. Use a barrel crimp and put all 4 wires together on this end. Then, using your crimpers, crimp down the barrel crimp onto the wires. It is possible to over crimp and sever the wires, so make sure you crimp down firmly and tight, but don't try to smash the crimp too much. Then, using your wire cutters, trim any excess off of the barrel crimp to make it a smaller finished package. After you're finished, it should look something like this, with the top foil tape folded back and the barrel crimp trimmed so it stays inside of our double stick tape. As you can see from this sample, when we pull back our double stick tape, our wires and barrel crimp all stay within the area of our two-sided tape. The top foil tape is trimmed because the top foil is conductive, and if your terminations happen to touch any of that foil, it could cause a short or bigger problems. Once that's completed, flip the tape over and open up the other side just as we did before. Use your tweezers, get in between the wires and the adhesive layers, and peel back the 2 layers. This is going to be our lead end, and it will also have our wires coming off of it so we can hook it up to our power. For this end of the termination, we're going to use an 18 gauge wire to be able to hook it up to power. Strip a 1/4 inch off of the Teflon wire, exposing the raw wire underneath. Now, using a strap crimp, place the Teflon wire inside and crimp it down. The strap crimp is our part number 092. Once you have it crimped onto the Teflon wire, you may go ahead and crimp it to 2 of the outer wires. Remember, we're doing a parallel series connection. Keep in mind, you will want to keep the strap crimp inside of our two-sided tape. We don't want any of the metal showing outside of our tape. Once you have it crimped to the wires inside of our adhesive tape, you may trim off any excess wires that may be sticking out. Then, repeat the process for the other pair of wires on the same piece of tape. After crimping on the Teflon wires, your lead end should look something like this. Our strap crimps are inside of our two-sided sticky tape, and our foil is folded back and trimmed. The final step in creating our custom heaters is isolating the terminations we just made. Pull off a strip of our double stick tape. Make sure you pull the backing off of the tape. The tape should be sticky on both sides. Once the backing is removed, we will isolate each termination individually. Place the piece of tape underneath one of the terminations we've made. Then, fold the tape over, sandwiching the crimp in between. Then, fold the tape back over the same crimp again, creating a double layer of tape on top of that crimp. You can continue to wrap the tape around the original part of the heat tape and back over the top. You may now trim the excess piece of tape. To isolate the non-lead end crimp, simply use our Clayborn two-sided tape and wrap it around the crimp twice. Because every heater is custom, make sure you check your individual build notes. It can be wired in a parallel connection with a wire lead coming off either end. It can be wired in a series connection with two crimps on one end, one crimp in the middle of the other, and then the power leads coming off each individual wire. Or it can be wired up in a parallel series connection, which is the one we just showed you in this build. For more information on specific build notes, you can reference our Clayborn Lab pamphlet, or you can call Clayborn Lab anytime, Monday through Friday, between the hours of 8 and 5.